The Bitcoin bloodbath continues as the cryptocurrency is stuck below 6,000. Can crypto traders expect more new lows over the weekend? Our Seema Mody joins us live from the New York Stock Exchange with more. Hi, Seema.
Melissa, Bitcoin continues its steep slide, down more than 20% in the month of June, falling below $6,000 and trading right around an 8-month low. And this comes as Bitcoin futures contracts expires today. Remember, the CME is the largest Bitcoin derivatives exchange, and analysts say previous expirations have resulted in a Bitcoin sell-off. In fact, Bitcoin has fallen 18% on average in the 10 days preceding each expiration. That, according to Fundstrat. And we've already seen volume in Bitcoin futures drop 30% month over month at the CME, but we've only had a few months of data to go by. Now, this comes despite a string of bullish headlines this week, including Circle, the blockchain startup backed by Goldman Sachs, reporting a 30% rise in new institutional clients over last month, Facebook reversing its ban on crypto ads, and a top venture capital firm, Andreessen Horowitz, launching a $300 million crypto fund. But a number of obstacles have paved a rocky path for the cryptocurrency lately, from stories of fraud, digital wallets being stolen, and regulators sounding the alarm. Plus, there's still ongoing uncertainty around how the SEC will decide to regulate the ICO market. For the year, Bitcoin has now plummeted about 60%, and crypto hedge fund Arca Funds telling me he expects Bitcoin to continue to drift lower going into the second half of the year, citing the sell-off in Asian stocks. They say that could cause investors overseas to take a more risk-off approach to trading cryptocurrencies. And Melissa, we know the Asian investor is important, making up a substantial amount of total cryptocurrency volume. Back to you.
All right, Seema, thank you. Seema Mody at the NYSE. So despite the Bitcoin declines, our next guest is sticking with his super bullish forecast. Take a listen to what he told us here on Fast back in May. You've got a stunning Bitcoin forecast. Where do you see it going?
50,000 by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
Correct.
Let's welcome back Arthur Hayes, the co-founder and CEO of BitMex, the Bitcoin mercantile exchange, which is the largest crypto trading exchange by volume. All right, Arthur, we're halfway through the year. Do you stand by 50K?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, I think that something that goes up to 20,000 in 1 year can have a correction down to around about 6,000. I think we could definitely find a bottom in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. But we're one positive regulatory decision away, maybe an ETF. Approved by the SEC, to climbing through 20,000 and even to 50,000 by the end of the year.
What have you seen in terms of volume on your exchange and just sort of trading patterns as we are here below 6,000?
Well, for us, we do good volume on up days and even better volume on aggressive down days. So in 2018, we've actually tripled what we did in 2017 already. So we're having a great year.
You also extend leverage to clients, as I understand it.
Yes.
Have you had many margin calls, or what's sort of the status of how much leverage you can give out these days with Bitcoin below 6,000, and whether people are getting taps on their shoulders?
Well, we offer up to 100x leverage.
100x.
Yes. Most clients don't use that much leverage, and there are people who do get liquidated every day.
Arthur, when you were last on the show, I got the sense that 50,000 was really, you were throwing darts not because you don't know what's going on in the sector, but all you really care about is volatility. I mean, you run an area where people are trading. That's the core of your platform. Isn't that really what it comes down to? And isn't that slowly changing as more institutions get involved?
So the volatility has actually dropped as the price has dropped, which is actually a problem, because if you're investing in Bitcoin, it's essentially a call option. You want as much volatility as possible to have as much chance that Bitcoin goes to 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, whatever that high number is. So as volatility drops and the price drops, it actually is a bad thing for the market, especially since it's only about a 200 billion market cap asset, which is de minimis in the grand scheme of things.
And is that a trend that continues, though? In other words, it sounds like you think it's going to completely reverse based upon one or two catalysts.
Absolutely, because in 2013 to 2015, we went from 1,200 to 200, from 2015 to 2017, 200 to 20,000. So we've done these sort of moves before. I think the time span is going to shorten because you have many more people involved in the market and who have invested capital and resources to be able to trade this asset class. And so now that we have more visibility, more people talking about it, the time between an aggressive bear market and an aggressive bull market, I think, is going to shorten.
We just had a very, very good news. I mean, just came out on Ethereum when we heard some commentary from the SEC about Ethereum not being a security, not being deemed a security. And, you know, BK was on the show that night, and BK made a point in saying this is big, big news. And, you know, I think we discussed a little bit on the show, like, if that can't turn Ethereum or can't make at least a little bit more bullish case there to get it moving in the right direction, like, what can, right? So we saw Ethereum sell off. It's right now near the lows. So same thing with Bitcoin. If they do come up with an ETF or whatever the catalyst you're suggesting, what makes you so convinced that it's going to actually have that kind of impact on Bitcoin?
Well, a sort of thing like an ETF actually brings real money to the table right then and there, as when the primary dealers have to go and get inventory. There will be subscriptions for real money to buy the asset. The SEC proclaiming that Ether is now a utility token and is not a security doesn't actually mean that any new money is going to enter the market. It just means that people who hold Ether feel better about that decision.
I mean, an ETF would make the friction of buying Bitcoin or crypto much, much less, right? If you can just go on to TD Ameritrade or whatever platform you use and do it. I'm curious, Arthur, in terms of the decline that we've seen in Bitcoin, do you feel like it is tied to what we've seen in the Asian markets in terms of we're in a bear market in Shanghai? A lot of volume came from Asia, and they were using a lot of leverage to buy stocks themselves. So they could be getting taps on the shoulder there and selling their crypto in order to pay that off.
Well, I think that sometimes, maybe in 2017, a falling Eshkamp, a falling yuan actually was a signal that Chinese people are trying to get money out of China and bullish for crypto. So I'm not exactly sure that this time around it could be different.
All right, 50K, Arthur. I'm sure we'll check in with you before the end of the year.
Arthur Hayes, thank you.
BitMex.
Here's the most bullish thing that happened. Seema just mentioned that Andreessen Horowitz, the famed venture capital firm, launched a $300 million fund this year investing in crypto. That's what you have to see. And the fund, you know, when you have digital currencies down 70% from those highs, these guys are not balking. They've been there from the get-go. Union Square Ventures is doing the same thing, investing in these sorts of things. So that's the most bullish thing that's going on right now, in my mind.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.